Hello everyone, welcome to Tactica Imperialis and to today's video. Today is a special old day, I will say. Today is, give or take, the channel's 5th birthday. It's been 5 years since I started this channel back in January of 2014, and oh my goodness me, where has the time gone, eh? Where did the time go? It's ridiculous what happened in the last 5 years. Like, a lot has happened. I've got most of a degree. I've been and spent a year abroad. The hobby's gone through... I was in 6th edition 40k at the time, and now we're into 8th edition. Age of Sigmar didn't exist. A lot has changed in the hobby and in society and in my life in the past 5 years. And through it all, there's been this place. There's been Tactica Imperialis, a place where I could just be me. I'm not going to go into a big, long, sappy speech or anything like that. That's never been my style. But I just wanted to make this video to partly reflect a little bit, talk about where we are, where we've come from, and things like that. And I also wanted to announce what we're going to be doing for a 5-year celebration, because I had a plan, but that plan had to be scrapped. So I'll tell you what the immediate plan is, and then we'll have maybe some suggestions about some things we could maybe do to celebrate properly. Actually, let's do that first, so that the people who just wanted to see what the video is about can get the quick bit of information out the way. So what I'm going to do is something I haven't done since I started at this podcast, really, and that's to have sort of an open floor Q&A session. Rather than doing it via a live stream where I take questions from the chat as they come in, because I realise that a lot of people aren't awake or aren't available when I do those streams, because they're at a specific time almost every time, and most people aren't around to watch them. And rather than doing it through the podcast, where they have to be kind of filtered out to stay sort of roughly on topic or on meme, and all of that sort of thing, and they're going to be read out by different people, and I don't have time so much to formulate a response. What I want to do is have just a proper sit-down Q&A session, and what we'll do is we'll use the comments of this video. So, same protocol as for Adeptus Podcasters. If you have a question you would like to ask, leave it in the comments below with the word question. Standard sort of stuff. If you've been around the channel at all over the last... God, how many months that I've been doing the podcast, how many years, however long it's been, you know the drill by now of how we take questions on the podcast. So just apply that procedure so that it's easier for me to find the questions when it comes to looking them up. In terms of things I'm going to answer and not answer, if it's a hobby question, I almost guarantee that I'll answer it unless I genuinely have no idea. If it's a question that I don't feel I'm able to answer, then I might just reply to your comment and just leave a note to say, I'm probably not going to be able to answer this because, but something. Just, I will try and answer any hobby-related question that comes up to the best of my ability. Whether that's lore, whether that's gameplay, I will do what I can. I promise nothing because you know what I'm like as a gamer, but I can try. As for everything else, I guess the only rule I'm going to predominantly apply is keep it clean, just because that's just the way I prefer to present the channel, and it also tallies better with what I want to do with my life going forward, because it's not something I'm going to talk about at length here, but I plan for this channel to be here as a resource for years, and a resource that's available to everyone and to anyone. So that's just the way that the channel operates for the most part. So keep it clean, and if it isn't hobby, that's fine, though bear in mind there are some things I'm going to be less inclined to answer if they're not hobby related. Just fair warning. So that's the announcement bit out of the way. That's what we're going to do. I'm thinking I'll probably do that Q&A at the end of the month, because I have, from the time you're watching this video, I have exams. And then in late January, I also have interviews for future employment. So I'm very busy in January. So what I'll do is I'll let the questions collate, maybe take some notes down of things I will probably say as answers, and then we'll properly do the video maybe first week of February, I'm thinking. So that's what we'll do. So do that, and if you have any suggestions for other things that you'd like to see as a full celebration, then do let me know. in the comments, maybe use the word suggestion. I don't know if it helps filter away from the questions if we're doing that sort of thing. So yeah, just let me know and I'll see what I can do, though. I make no promises. I'm not superhuman. So now that we've got the announcement bit out of the way, I guess I can sort of dial back the professionalism a tad. This channel has meant a lot to me, and it's been very useful in terms of keeping me in the hobby, keeping me engaged. In particularly 6th edition, I had a lot of hobby burnout, and so this channel was kind of started to keep me in the hobby. And as much as I would never really have stepped away from the hobby, period, this channel has allowed me to stay so much more on and engaged with it than I probably ever would have done. I don't know if I'd have ever bothered to cover Age of Sigmar and look at it very hard if it weren't for the fact that I wanted to make content about it, and I also had a very small amount of models and someone I could play against. So Sigmar probably got its foot start on the channel, or certainly in my life, because I had a channel. All the experimentation I do with armies, I probably wouldn't do, because I wouldn't be half as enthused were I not covering all this stuff and analysing it for YouTube in terms of my thoughts on videos. And the lore. Oh, the lore. I know that's what probably most of you are here, either because of my lore videos or because of Adeptus Podcasters. One of the two, or both. That's probably why most of you are here. But doing 40k stories as a project and taking that on, because I think there's over nearly 150 episodes of 40k stories now. It's mad. But doing that has really invigorated that side of the hobby for me, because it was something that I liked but didn't care that much about before. So again, by doing YouTube, it's allowed me to explore that side of the hobby in a way I never would have done before. And it's just fantastic. So I hope that you've been able to get something out of this channel. I know I have. It's been an amazing time, and yeah, okay, it's not all been great. There's been ups, there's been downs. There's been 7th edition, and there's been Legions on the other hand. So I know it's not been perfect as a time. Even for me, I know I've had some videos that I put on and I was like, oh, I'm not that happy with that. But I'm really glad that I took it on. And it's not just been useful for the hobby. Something that I've said to people before is doing things like blogging, YouTube, putting yourself out there like that is a really helpful skill. It makes you much more employable, to my mind, because you learn about your skill as a writer or as a presenter or both. You learn a bit about photography and or video editing, which is something that I've really had to learn over the previous years. And it also allows you to be a bit more critical, a bit more of an objective thinker who can look at something and analyze it. Sure, not everybody takes that approach with their content, but in order to form their opinion about something, they generally have to look at it, analyze it, come to a conclusion, decide how to articulate that conclusion, and then they put their content out. And that's a real skill. That sort of critical thinking and that analytical skill is something that they really push on you in school. I remember that critical analysis and things like that, like I'm being asked to do that in job interviews. So it is a really valuable skill to take information and analyze it. And then you've got this side of it, the bit that includes putting yourself on screen or on a website, whether you're posting videos, blog posts, whatever it happens to be. The skills you gain doing that and the confidence you gain doing that is ridiculous. So I look back at the first Legions videos, like those have got over nearly 60,000 views. The Word Bearers video, I checked it today because I was curious, has over 55,000 views. And it's awful in my mind. I look at it now and I'm like, God, was I that bad of a speaker 2 years ago when I sat down to start Legions just before Christmas in 2016? And the answer was yes, I was awful. But by the time I got to the mid-series and toward the end of the series, when I was doing the Imperial Fists and I did the Emperor for 10,000 subscribers, that was a completely different me. And the me that goes on camera now and presents the lore videos that I do with that slightly tongue-in-cheek humour of "come at me, Nightbringer," I'm really proud of that one. I was really proud of that little script. But the sort of way that I present my videos now compared to how I present my videos then is vastly different. But I've developed those skills organically from just doing a lot. I'm sure I've upgraded my tech so the sound quality's got a bit better, and the quality of the editing might or might not have got a bit better. That's your opinion. But through practice, my script writing has got so much better, and I've been able to do proper research and work out how to construct information. It's the same idea as that critical thinking, although in this case, it's not about forming an opinion, it's about presenting information. You look at some information, either in books or online, or through whatever the resources you have, you take that information, you appraise it, you analyze it, you take it down, and then you reinvigorate it, you reform it, you take bits out, you add information in that maybe wasn't quite so relevant, but it's a good side point, and then you put it back out in your own words. That, again, is a real skill, and it's something that I've honed by writing law scripts. And then, of course, the presentation. I was not this confident when I started YouTube back in 2014. Let me tell you, you could speak to any of my friends. If you're in my Discord server, you could ask any of the mods, pretty much. I was not a confident speaker. I mean, I knew how to do presentations because they make you do them in schools, but I was not a confident speaker. And doing YouTube allowed me to refine that skill. Even early on, I took the skills I had just as an early days YouTuber and then applied them in a school environment as part of the leadership team, the student leadership team. And it was really useful. And when I got to university, I've become much more willing to engage with others and start a conversation. I'm not perfect at it, but I've got much better at it thanks to doing YouTube and being able to speak to people at length and do this sort of stuff. So, yeah, I really do think that it's something that is really worth doing if you have the passion for it. It's not something that you might just start for no good reason, but if you have a passion for something, doesn't have to be hobby, doesn't have to be a hobby. It could be news and politics, if you're so inclined. It could be something in film. It could be music. It could be, I don't know, anything. Those skills that you get as a presenter, as a writer, as an analyst are so useful and they're so employable. But you don't realize that you're becoming employable because it's so much fun. So for all I banged on about how much this has meant to me in terms of making me a better person and a better individual, it's been a hell of a lot of fun at the same time. Because I've met so many good people through my interactions online. I've been exposed to so much more in terms of opinions and trying to get a more open-minded view on the world. And it has been an incredible experience and one that I thoroughly encourage you to try for yourself if you are so inclined. So I guess this has been, I don't really know what this has been. This has been the announcement of the 5 years anniversary Q&A, as well as a bit of a random ramble about doing YouTube and what this channel has been. Because this channel has been, I'm not going to say something dramatic like it's kept me sane, because I think that's a bit much. But when I was on my year abroad, the channel was the best thing I could do, because otherwise I would have just been bored out of my skull while I was in France. I would have hated it probably even more than I did had I not had the channel and my hobby project and this community to keep me interested, to keep me not going, that's too melodramatic, but you know what I mean. It's been a really useful tool to me and it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, thank you to all of you for sharing this experience with me, for coming along for the ride and deciding to tag along with some crazy Tao who rides around in a craft world telling stories. I know it's crappy fan fiction, it's awful, but it worked and you went with it. So thank you for coming along and joining me in this experience. I couldn't have got to where I've got without you. And here's to another 5 years. I don't know what the future holds for me. I don't know what my work future will dictate in terms of time and availability to put into this channel. I don't know what's going to happen in my personal life. I know things will change. I mean, there's some things in my head that I'm already thinking about that are going to change. But I don't want to give this up, and I want to keep this going as long as possible. So whatever I become, whoever I am in the future, I hope that you stick around and enjoy the hobby and the madness, because this hobby's not going anywhere, so neither am I. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you for watching Tactica Imperialis, and I really hope you've enjoyed the last 5 years. This isn't the only video I'm putting out today. I'm also putting out a battle report to start off the new year. It's not the Celebration battle report. That was just a random game that I played. But we've got 2 videos today because this isn't really a proper video. This is just me rambling. So, thank you very much for watching. This has been Tactica Imperialis, and thank you all for 5 lovely years. I'll see you all again. Bye for now.